Hey guys, I'm going to try to help out with compound interest. So if you're having trouble with the compound interest, first you need to know what the formula is. So the formula, A equals principal times 1 plus rate over n raised to the n times t power. All right, so you need to know what the variables are. So first, P is your principal. R is your interest rate. And this will have to be changed to a decimal, and we'll get to that in a minute. N is the number of terms. So you can think of that as the number of times it occurs in a year. And T is time in years. All right, and A is just the amount that you're going to have after this period of time happens. Okay, so A, if you want to know, A is just going to be the final amount. All right, so how do we use this formula with the information given? So if we have $51,000 at 2.4% interest semi-annually for 7 years. All right, P is our principal, so that's what we start with. What we start with is $51,000, so we're going to plug that into our formula. And then if we just multiply by the percentage, we only get 2.4% of the 51,000. When you make an investment, you want 51,000 plus a little bit on top of that. So if you multiply anything by 1, that makes you get your $51,000 back. And then the interest rate compounded is going to give you a little bit more money on top of your 51,000. So that's why we have the 1 here. So we're going to have 1 plus, and our interest rate has to be changed to a decimal. So 2.4%, you would take 2.4%, you would move that 2 decimal places. So that's equal to 0.024. So that's what we're going to put in for R. And then N is the number of times it occurs in a year. So if it's annually, it would be once. Semi-annually, twice. Quarterly, it happens 4 times a year. If it happens monthly, it would be 12 times a year. Daily, 365 times in a year. This one says semi-annually. So semi-annually means twice in 1 year. Okay? And then we're going to raise that, not multiply it, but raise it to the n times t. N is the same as it is here, so it's semi-annually. We put that 2 there. And how many years? It says for 7 years. Okay, now it's just about simplifying this. So if you simplify this, I always use order of operations. You may be able to type this all in as one big expression in your calculator and get an answer, but I usually do it step by step. So I'm going to do the division inside my parentheses first. So I'm going to do 0.024 divided by 2 and then plus 1. So I'm going to have 51,000 and then 1.012. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and multiply the 2 times 7. That's going to be raised to the 14th power. Now I'm going to take this number. You have to do powers first. Again, order of operations is important. So take the 1.012, raise that to the 14th power, and then times 51,000. So again, order of operations is important. So it's going to give you a number, $60,269.47. Since we're talking about money, we always round that to 2 decimal places so that makes sense. Now, does your answer make sense? Find the total value of the investment after the time given. We start with 51,000. We invest it to try to make money, so we want a number bigger than 51,000. So after 7 years, we would have $60,269. So that is a reasonable answer. So I'm going to say that's our amount. After 7 years, invested at 2.4% interest semi-annually. All right, I'm going to quickly go through one more example. So let's look at one more here. Okay, I'm not going to write everything down again, but I will write the formula down because it's easier if you have the formula in front of you. So A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the N times T power. All right, if we go up here and look, this time we start with 19,000. That's going to be our principal. So we're going to put $19,000 in. We're going to invest it. We want to get more money back, so we're going to do 1 to make sure 1 times 19,000 gets us at least our 19,000 back. So 1 plus our interest rate is 6%. We have to change that to a decimal, move it 2 decimal places. So 0.06. This one's going to be compounded quarterly. Quarterly, think of 4 quarters in a dollar, 4 quarts in a gallon. Quarterly means 4 times a year. And then we're going to have N times T. T in this case is 2 years. Again, you've got to do order of operations. So I'm going to do the 0.06 divided by 4. Then I'm going to add 1 to simplify inside my parentheses first. 1.015. And then 4 times 2 is to the 8th power. So I'm going to take this number, raise it to the 8th power, and then times that by 19,000. So this time your amount, $21,403.36. Now, does that look reasonable? Sure it does. 19,000, it went up. You did make money. I didn't make as much money as the last one, but we started with less, and we're only going to leave our money in there for 2 years. So you won't make as much, but you still made money. So that's it. Hope this is helpful.